all about the house printables. So if you haven't met me before, I do have a printable shop on Etsy called All About the House, no spaces if you want to search for it on Etsy. So I have a bunch of printable planners, for example, business planners, planner stickers, calendars, binder covers, whole lot of different types of organization printables. I also have another Etsy shop called Paper Cravings where I sell digital paper and pretty patterns that you can use in your designs. So in this video I'm going to show you how to make a gift certificate, and we're going to quickly do this in Canva. So Canva has a whole bunch of different types of pre-made designs and also pre-sized. So if you go to www.canva.com, create a login, and then you can choose what sort of template that you want. So you can create heaps of different types of things like social media graphics, Instagram, ebook covers, but I'm going to go with a gift certificate, which they've got pre-sized at 6 by 4 inches. So you could print this as a photo at your local office supply store, and you could include this with your products if you wanted to send a gift certificate with your packages if you sell on Etsy or if you have a business. You could also include a not just a gift certificate, it could just be an information brochure. So you could have this is like what we sell and this is where you can find me, sort of like a business card. They do have a business card template. Or you can put it on a gift certificate, or something like if you refer a friend, you'll get $10 off, any special discounts you have, maybe preview of a couple of your products. So that's a good template to use, this gift certificate one. So if you just left click, you can choose that template. One of the reasons that I really like Canva is it's free, so it's really good for if you don't have Photoshop. Photoshop is, in my opinion, obviously still better than Canva. You can align things easier. It does have more tools, so you could create ombre patterns, for example, in Photoshop, which you can't do in Canva. But Canva is really good if you just want to make a quick project or you don't have access to Photoshop. Or I like to use it if I'm feeling like a bit stuck, because they have lots of these different types of pre-made designs that you can use, that you can quickly customize, or you can use to spark some ideas to create your own designs. So there's some really nice ones. I love that one. Templates. So you can customize any of these and they're free, which is really good. Oh, I love this one. That one's paid. They're usually only about $1. You're paying for the background, so you could just change out that background to a digital paper. I do have digital papers in my Etsy shop, and I also have an e-course on how to make your own patterns if you're interested in that, or you can just use their paper that they've got as a background already. So they've got a really nice one as a gift voucher. I love that one. Or you can choose these other pre-made ones that they've created. So I would probably change this one to say not just your shop name, I'd include your URLs. So maybe keep it as $50 gift voucher, and you could put the name. Make sure if you're doing gift certificates that you include when it expires, how much they're going to get off, and they've got here terms and conditions apply. I don't recommend including that. I would include something like minimum spend $20. You don't have to get these printed. You could save them as a JPEG and send them via email. Or if you've got, for example, you sell on Etsy and you sell digital products, you could include it as a download. So when they download your products, you've got this coupon as well. It doesn't have to be a $50 gift voucher. It could be a 10% off coupon. So if we change it to 10%, I'm just going to get rid of the $sign. If you just trash can, you can get rid of the design elements that you don't want. So try and keep the 10% in a pretty big font, so it's the feature that they can see. So 10%, and then we'll go minimum spend $10. So my font's just gone to a second line. If you press Control A, you can reduce the size of that. So let's say 20. So now we've got minimum spend is $10. It's valid until 2015 has been and gone. So let's just say 2016. and then in here I would probably include the shop URL, or for example you could do one time only, one use only, or can be used once only, cannot be used with other offers, whatever you want to put, one time only. And then you could put your shop name in here, so your shop name. Now this font's pretty cursive, like a fancy type font. I personally don't like it because it's hard to see. It's a very thin font. It's difficult to read. So if you don't like the font that they use in their pre-made templates, just press Ctrl A and you can change it to whatever you want. I do like Oswald, that's a good font. Your shop name, and then I recommend adding your shop URL. So for example, just come up here, right click, copy, come back to our template, Control V to paste it, and what I like to do is reduce the size of the URL. So if you press Control A and then reduce the font size, see, I don't want this reviews thing to show up, I just want it to go to my shop. So Paper Cravings, and I would change your shop name to Paper Cravings. And then I could change this font as well, so if I make that Oswald, however you say it, I'm going to make that a little bigger. That's 10. You can delete these lines if you don't like them on the canvas. You can also make your text bold, etc. So if I come here, whoops, can make it bold, uppercase. I'll leave it as uppercase actually. And I'm going to make this font also as Oswald, so it's all matching. And I want to keep it centered. And I'm going to make this one Oswald as well, so it's all matching. I'm going to reduce that back to 40, and I'll make it 50. And then left click and drag. Cool, so now I've customized that. So if you want to, you can change out their background and put in a background that matches your brand. So my branding is rainbow stripe that I use for my logo and my company branding. So I've got a few different things that I've loaded in here. I've used Canva to create like a preview image when people subscribe to my blog for my sign up form. I created a couple of freebies in Canva, and I edit on Instagram. If I upload some pictures of my planner stickers, I add my shop name and my shop URL over the top as like a watermark. So there's lots of different things that you can do in Canva. It's a pretty good tool considering it's free. So I've got my rainbow stripe pattern that I use all the time for my branding stuff. So if I move that one, you just left click and it will appear on your canvas, and then left click and drag inwards to reduce or increase the size, and then you can hit back if you want to send it to the back. So mine's already at the back, that's why that's grayed out. So I don't want this polka dot pattern thing that they've got over the top here, so I'm just going to trash can that. Cool, so now that's looking more like on my branding style, which is always a rainbow with usually black text or a black element. I'm going to make my stripes a little bigger. That looks pretty good. I've got pink up the top and pink down the bottom, and I've got my elements. So if I wanted to, I could print these off and include them in a package if I was selling physical products, or save it as a JPEG and include it in my download. The other thing that we are missing, which is pretty crucial, is we've said 10% off, minimum spend $10, but we haven't said how they can use the coupon. So I do recommend keeping your gift certificates or your coupons all as one-sided. You can add a new page and make it a double-sided, but if you're going to get these printed, for example, you use a print and ship website, they're going to cost more because you're printing on two sides of the paper, especially if you use a lot of color in your design. That's going to cost you more. So I do tend to try and keep it to just a one-sided design. So I've got minimum spend $10, and then we need to put what the actual coupon code is. So I might put apply the coupon code 10 off and then press Control A, and I'm just going to reduce that a little bit to make it 14. Looks pretty good. Cool, so now I have a coupon code. They're going to get 10% off if they spend $10 or more when they apply the coupon code 10OFF. One thing to note, I will admit with this font, it's a nice font, but it's not easy to see the difference between a 0 and a letter 0. So what I'm going to do is change the font just for this element. You want to make sure that it is easy for people to buy from you. If they enter, for example, and they really think that that's 2 zeros, then they may, the coupon code may not work. They'll get frustrated and they'll leave your website and won't purchase. So make sure you make it easy. If you wanted to, you could just make it 10% off to get rid of any chance of that happening. Make it 10. It's a little small. We can make it 12. That's looking pretty good. Whoops, I don't want to move the line. Just press Control Z to undo. Gotta left click and drag it up. Cool, that's looking pretty good. So we've got how much percentage off, the minimum spend they need, the coupon code that they need to enter, so the actual letters if you haven't got your website set up to automatically discount, when it's valid till, how many times it can be used, and where they can spend it. So if you wanted to pin this to Pinterest, then everyone has all the info that they need to go and spend this coupon. And you can also include it with your packages for customers that purchase, or send it to a loyal customer. Or if you mix up a customer's order and send them the wrong color, then when you send them the right color, you could include this here as sort of an apology as well. And so I've used the gift certificate template that Canva has to create a coupon voucher, but you can use it obviously for a gift certificate. So my design didn't end up being very similar to what the template was in, I think it was in Elements, or was it? It was in Layout. So it ended up being a bit different from the original, which is good because it should be used as a jumping board. These templates, you obviously don't want to use the exact same as what Canva has used. You want to make sure it's in line with your brand. That's one of the reasons I prefer to use Canva to PicMonkey if I'm just making something quick, because they give you these really helpful free templates that you can customize. So mine looks nothing like the original. No one would be able to tell that I made it in Canva and not Photoshop. So I highly recommend using Canva if you don't have access to Photoshop and need to make something quickly using free software. So when you're finished with your design, make sure you go File, Save, and then you can download it as a JPEG or as a PDF. If you're going to get it printed as photos to include in packages, obviously a JPEG. If you choose it as a PDF, because it's not fully sized to like letter size or A4 size paper, when some people open it may look a little funny, so I recommend just going with JPEG. I hope you found this video tutorial helpful. Thanks for watching!